All right, everybody, welcome to the very first episode of the official Zero to a Funded series. I am extremely excited to bring this production to you. As you can see, I am standing up right now. I raised my desk up. I have a standing desk. I raised this shit up. This is the first time I ever done this because I need to get animated. I need to get fucking locked in because we are going to do this journey fucking together. Like I said, some days we're going to be on here. I have a slideshow presentation for you guys today. And some days we're going to be on the whiteboard, which is right behind me. And it will just be like a camera talking video. That's going to be more of the psychology focused videos because we're going to be talking about actual, mechanical, technical side of things in trading as much as the psychological aspect of trading, which is just as important, if not the most important aspect of trading, as you're going to see here in this video as well. This is going to be just a quick introductory video. We're not going to be going into too much in depth on anything really today. I'm just going to kind of go over the format of how we're going to be doing this series, what to expect if you are getting into your day trading journey. Certain tools you'll need, things that you will basically just need to get yourself started and be ready so that, tomorrow in the next episode when we actually are on the chart and I teach you guys how to actually read a candlestick chart, which is what we're going to start on tomorrow, you guys are all ready. So this is literally for people who have never heard or done anything day trading related, but you want to get into it. This is going to be the complete start from literally zero, as in the title says, to a funded. With that being said, let's begin. So if you're a little more experienced or from the Discord or something, this video probably is going to be kind of useless to you, but I want to literally start out for complete newbies. So welcome to day trading. If you are still watching this now, that means that you are completely brand new to this, or you just like to watch me speak, which is fine as well. So one thing I want to really get into your guys' mind that I think is very important is that if you are getting into trading, you need to expect to lose a lot. This is not something, as you can see, one of my bullet points, I wrote social media is fake. The problem is that social media has created this image around, honestly, a lot of entrepreneurial, business models out there, but especially day trading. And this is something that you can just pick up and make a bunch of money off of, within your first couple of months doing it. And that is nothing that could not be any further from the truth. Okay. You need to treat this as if you are starting a business. If you were going to start a, maybe an ad agency or maybe a physical business like a power washing business or like a car detailing business or any online business, chances are you would be spending a lot of money on startup costs and advertising and anything of that nature for your business before you actually started to see profit come back to you or, before you started making actual revenue from your business. Trading is no different. You are going to spend a lot of money on funded accounts, on, market data subscriptions. You're going to lose a lot of money from taking trades before you get to the point where you see it come back to you, as any other business would, right? If you were to start an online business right now, you would not just instantly start making money. You would have to spend a lot of money out of your own pocket to get that shit up and going. So, and when I say, I mean, it can take years to see profit. There are people who have been trading for multiple years who are unprofitable. It took me over 2 years of looking at the chart every single day before I saw a single dollar in profit return to my name. Which brings me into my second point is to, kind of ties in the first thing, set realistic expectations. Social media, the problem was when I got into trading, I thought this was something I was going to pick up and be a millionaire in a couple weeks. Set realistic expectations, guys. You're not going to be making money from this for a while, okay? I'm going to keep it a full stack. My goal as a creator on this platform and really just, in this space is to be as transparent as possible and really preach the truth about this shit because it's very rare, I feel like. Set realistic expectations for yourself. Trading is really, really fucking hard. Yes. If I would recommend, if I was talking to someone brand new like yourself, I said, okay, do you want to trade or do you want to start some other kind of business? I would tell you to start some other kind of business because it's probably going to be easier on your mental health, your just everything in general. Trading is the hardest thing I have ever learned to try to do in my entire life. And I can say that without a second thought. The hardest thing by far I have ever tried to learn how to do, but now that it has started, now that it's clicked and now that I'm making money, it feels fucking amazing, guys. And the scalability is really top notch. And that's the one thing that really is going to set trading apart from a lot of other businesses. The scalability in trading is nearly what feels like infinite, right? And it's really hard to, trading it's something that will always be there. It has been here for decades upon decades. It will always be here. It's not something that could become oversaturated. I used to resell sneakers in high school, and the reason that I had to kind of quit doing it was because it got so oversaturated. So many people were reselling sneakers that the market died out because so many people got into it that it became oversaturated. That will never happen with day trading. Social media is fake, like what I said before. The Lamborghinis, the Miami lifestyle, all that shit. Two of my closest friends are multi-millionaires off of day trading, and they live very humble lifestyles. All of these people who are online flexing their fucking APs and their cars and this lifestyle where they're just going out with a bunch of girls on their fucking boat and shit. Yeah, they got money, but they did not make that money mostly from trading. It is all a lifestyle. It's all just this facade, this painting, I promise you, to sell you a course, and that's where they make 90% of their money. That's another reason I'm doing this shift purely for the love of the game. I'm not asking for a single penny, but I promise you, I've met a lot of these people in person. I've talked to a lot of these people in person, right? I have a decent amount of connections, especially through Steph, and I'm telling you guys, all of that shit is completely fake. It's a facade. It is a image painted by themselves on social media. The problem with social media is that you can pick and choose what to post on social media, right? I'm not going to choose I do because I like to be transparent, but 90% of people are not going to choose to show them losing money on their social medias, right? They're only going to show you the highs. Anyway, what else to expect? Like I said earlier, lots of lost money, lots of funded accounts blown. One thing, though, that's really good to take into consideration is just like what I said, treat it like a business. That's pretty much you're paying your tuition to the market to learn how to trade. And, it sucks. There's going to be times where you really want to quit. And that's another thing, guys. This is a very, very hard thing to succeed in. It's said that like over 99% of day traders will fail, but that doesn't mean that you will fall in. But it all comes down to how bad you really want it. I have spent every single day for the last 2.5 years of my life, and I'm not even joking, I'm not exaggerating, every single day for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours a day looking at the NASDAQ and how it moves. And if you do something day in and day out for that long, you are going to get good at it. It doesn't matter what it is. It purely comes down to your dedication and your discipline, not only as a person or not only as a trader, but as a person, right? There are going to be days where you get shit on so hard. There are going to be days where you don't feel like looking at the chart. There are going to be days where all this shit where you're so fucking fed up with all of the bullshit that comes along with, being on this journey, we're going to want to give up. And that's what's going to set you apart from everyone else. But hopefully I can help you with that. Biggest parts of trading for profitability. Now, these are the things that I have found that are the general consensus in the trading community is this. Now, I would say this this isn't actually in a specific order. But number one is your psychology and your mental state. Now, you might not understand this now, but I would say that your psychology and your mental, everything up here, I will say that day trading is 93% up here. It is all a mindset, okay? It is a combination of your emotions and your mental attachment to money. Now, the reason that day trading is really, really fucking hard is because it involves money. And it involves money fluctuating up and down very rapidly. Now, your whole life, you have been taught that money is this very important thing. And whether you know it or not, you have a very strong mental attachment to money. And you will not realize this until you get into day trading. Another thing that trading will teach you is that as you progress and the more you do it, you are going to learn that you do not have nearly as much control over your own mind as you thought you did, which is truly why I think that trading is really, really fucking hard, is because it is truly a game against yourself. You are not really competing against anybody. Technically, you could say you are, but you know what I mean. It's purely you versus you. And the reason that it can take such a big mental toll on you when you are consistently finding yourself losing in day trading is because you have nobody to blame except for yourself. If you lose a bunch of trades, you can't say, oh, the other team just outplayed me, right? If I get fucking shit on in a Fortnite Zone Wars back in the day, maybe I just got outplayed. In trading, I can't say that I just got outplayed. When I lose, it's my fault 100% of the time. And this is why 99% of people quit, is because there is nothing in this world that will, turn the gears in your mind the way that day trading does. And because it involves money and you have a mental attachment to money, whether you know it or not, your psychology and your mental state when you're going into trading is very, very, very important. But onto the mechanical, more technical side of things, understanding of how and why price moves how it does. There actually is ways, the NASDAQ, which is what I trade, moves a certain way because of certain reasons, right? And learning how all of that happens purely comes down to market experience. Like I said, I have going on 3 years of market experience now where I've looked at this chart every single day and watched it move for a couple hours every single day. And there are repetitions, there are fake outs, but there are patterns that you will start to pick up on and your intuition will become stronger and stronger as time goes on. But this can take a really long time, multiple years I'm talking. And the last thing that I wrote here is your risk management. This is more on the technical side of things. If you have a $10,000 account, you don't want to be risking $5,000 per trade. That means if you lost 2 trades in a row, your account's gone. This is something that we're going to go over in a future episode. So don't worry about it too much right now, but these things right here, probably going from most important to least important right here, I would say, your psychology and your mental state, guys. You will see the more you trade how it's just crazy, because I remember I literally, there was a day where I kept breaking my rules and I would sit back and I would say, man, I don't have nearly as much control over my own brain as I thought I did. I truly feel like I am fighting against myself. And that's what makes trading so hard. Anyway, some tools we're going to be utilizing are things you're going to need to get started doing this. One, we're going to be using tradingview.com. That's going to be our main resource for charting and actually reading price movement. We're going to be trading on funded accounts. Now, this is what I do. Basically, a funded account is so think about it like a company, right? This company goes to you and they say, hey, if you give me $50, I'll give you this evaluation account. Okay, so you go, okay, yeah, sure. Here's $50. And they go, all right, yeah, here's your evaluation account. If you make $3,000 on this evaluation account and prove to me that you're profitable, we will give you $50,000 worth of funding. So you say, okay, bet. If you make, but they also say, if you blow the account, then we keep your $50, right? So you go, okay, sure. You make $3,000 on it. You pay a $100 activation fee. They say, nice job. Here is your funded account. And you get to withdraw 70 or 80% of however much you make, and then we get the other percentage. That is how a funded account or a prop firm, so the companies that sell the funded accounts are called prop firms. We're going to be going over those more in a future episode as well, but that's what we're going to be trading on. The way that I trade futures, you need a lot of capital to start up, and I'm assuming that most of you guys, if you're watching this, don't have $50,000 laying around to start up a live account. I certainly don't, and I think it's safe to assume that neither do any of you guys. So Forex, that's what we're going to be trading on. We're going to go over that more. Like I said, forexfactory.com. Now, this is where we're going to be reading our news. Now, news can play a very big role in the market as well. If you've been following, as of recently, actually, we've had a lot of very high impact news, especially with Trump being elected recently, and all the tariff news, this trade war with China, all of this stuff that's kind of going on with our economy, the new president, Trump back in office, it has fluctuated the market up and down an insane amount. So news actually can be very, very important at certain times. And what we're going to be doing to utilize, what we're going to be using to read news and find out what news is forexfactory.com. And last thing that I wrote here is a journal. Now, a journal is very important, especially if you are newer in your journey, because you need to be writing things down. When you take a trade, you need to be writing why you took them. You need to be writing how you felt, your emotions, tying back into what I said on the last slide, your emotions. One of the biggest things. This journal, for me personally, my journal, I have like my own Discord server where it's literally just I'm the only person in it, and I just have a bunch of channels where I write certain stuff. You can get a physical journal if you'd like. I used to do that, but personally, I like to just create my own Discord server and just have my own channel in there where I write everything down. I also do my trade recaps, which also I would count as a journal on my YouTube channel. And that is what you are going to need. So get yourself set up a journal, whether you want a physical one or just a channel in your own private Discord server. These are the things we're going to be using. And tomorrow we are going to be starting our first episode actually on the chart. We're going to be going over how to read a candlestick chart. Pretty much the bare bones basics of starting how to learn to day trade. But with that, guys, being said, that's going to wrap up this video. I know this was kind of a snooze fest, and really nothing too crazy. But like I said, this is going to be a 30-day series. So I'm planning it all out so that it is formatted in a way where we can literally start from people, absolutely zero knowledge all the way up to where you're literally building your own strategy and you're able to trade your own strategy and, get funded and get paid out hopefully as well. So sorry to anyone who, already has kind of gotten into trading, and this video is probably completely useless to you. But for the ones who are completely brand new and are looking to start into this, I am very excited that you have chose this series to start with, and you are going to be following this, and I believe in you so much. Just know that it is going to be hard, and your limits will be fucking tested. But if you can see it through, you can change your life. I'll end off on that note. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 2 on the candlestick chart.